What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with the recent physique update from Hunter Labrada. So for the very first time in almost 6 years, Hunter Labrada, a top 10 Olympian, he's gonna be skipping the Olympia this year. So him and Crizo, they have been really close, with Hunter placing 6th and Crizo in 7th in both their respective last Miss Olympias. So these two spots, they are up for grabs this time. But don't think for a second that Hunter isn't working. The plan is set for his return in 2026. And the one show that Hunter has shown a lot of interest in, that is the Arnold Classic Ohio. Now some of you guys might remember this, that he was actually aiming to do this year's Arnold. He talked about that before the Olympia and also after the Olympia. But then he decided to take care of his shoulder issue, which he was having for almost a couple of years now. Because ever since he turned pro, he was going from one show to the next one, trying to grow from one show to the next one, and moving up the ladder. And the package that we saw from Hunter at the Olympia last year, that was undoubtedly his all-time best. Without any shadow of a doubt, his best ever. Especially the one at the prejudging. When he first came out, he looked sensational. And he was able to beat his previous best, which was Tampa Pro 2023 look. And that too by quite some margin, because he brought a lot more size. With that same, or I'm gonna say, maybe an even better condition than that. Now, he could have placed higher than 6th, had he maintained that same prejudging look, all the way till the finals. Because he was beating Andrew Jack by the end of the prejudging. So getting back into that top 5, that is Hunter's goal for next year. But we know at this point, the problem is that he's gonna have to knock out, at the very least one, or two big names. Put Nick Fogger in that equation, because he was missing in the first Olympia call-out last year, actually for 2 years in a row. So coming back into that Olympia top 5, that we all know is gonna be very challenging. Now in theory, this off time, that is certainly gonna help Hunter bring his best the next time he steps on stage, which probably is gonna be at the Arnold Ohio next year. Because his desire to do the Arnold, plus the prize money at that show, that can be another big reason not to miss the Arnold Sports Festival next year. So as long as we have all been following the former 2 times Classic Physique Olympia champion, Breon Ansley, he has never done this much traveling ever before. And maybe because this time, he is in a different division, and there are no expectations or predictions on how Breon is gonna do against some of the top 212 guys this year. But first of all, Breon has to earn his Olympia spot, as he made it very clear that he doesn't want a special invite, and it is gonna be exciting to see someone like Breon compete in the 212 without any weight restrictions. So he looks pretty big at this point during his off-season, and we have no idea why he did not prep for the Weight Pro, as that was the highest paying 212 show of the year. So Breon won that same show last year in Classic Physique category. So that was a good show to test the waters on how he's gonna do in the 212. Now, the fact is Breon's upper body, that isn't gonna be a problem. He was the most polished looking physique in that entire Classic Physique division for so many years. And despite that weight cap, he was able to improve his look almost every single year. But in Classic, the main critique on Breon, that was not having big enough legs. And in the 212, he's gonna get crushed even more if he cannot bring up his legs. Now Breon is a very hard worker. His entire pro career, that speaks for itself. But we have to keep in mind, the man is now 45 years old. So he's gonna have to beat something, which is impossible to beat the further time, if he wants to be in the top 5 on his first 212 Olympia. But do let me know, what do you guys think? How high can Breon place in a bigger division this year? Tonio Button is looking absolutely insane right now, just 1 week out from his comeback show, the Legion Sports. The size has been upgraded, way better aesthetics, and I must say top-notch conditioning. Tonio Button has it all. The big question is, who is gonna step up against Tonio Button at this upcoming Legion Sports and really challenge him? Because Regan isn't doing the Legion Sports, and even if he was, the last time both these guys went up against each other, that was at the Olympia back in 2023. Tonio Button was actually able to come out on top. And yes, I know Regan has surely improved since 2023. But remember, Tonio is also making his comeback after more than 1 year. So he was given this feedback to put on more size, especially on his chest, on his upper body, and you also need to bring up his hamstrings because they were not as developed as his upper back, which is one of the best out there. And we are definitely gonna see some obvious improvements in his physique all around. Plus, I do not remember the last time Tonio Button actually missed his peak. The man has always been very on when it comes to conditioning. Now on scale, him and Justin Shire, they are some of the lightest guys on the stage. But the judges simply do not care about that, how much you weigh on the stage. It's the look that counts. And Tonio Button was spot on in all the 3 shows that he did last year, starting from the Arnold, all the way till Cali Pro, the show that he won. So will he compete after this year's Legion Sports? If he wins, well, I'm gonna say no chance. He has just one goal. Get that Olympia qualification and get right back to the drawing board. Put on some more size. Because that's another guy who has a very high expectation for this year's Miss Olympia for himself, as he has said this many times, that he wants to be top 6, and that too this year. So in order for him to accomplish that goal, what he needs is to slowly keep on putting more muscle, more mass, in all the right areas. Because his aesthetics, they are looking so insane this year. And maintaining that quality and all that mass, that is gonna be the key here at this upcoming California Pro. And also for the Olympia this year. Next up, we have an update from Sergio Oliva Jr. So the man is looking very swole right now. And there has got to be a plan in his mind, and also his coach, Stefan, on what show they're going to jump in order to get their Olympia qualification for this year. Because the ultimate goal, that is to step back on the biggest bodybuilding stage. So we know there are a few openings in the next month, where this new Sergio that we saw at FIBA Germany, especially at the finals, that could be very dangerous. But with that lat imbalance that we are seeing right now on him, he is more focused on getting that part fixed, put some density on his back, and then get back on the stage. So can he do that before the Olympia? Also pick a show more strategically. We have no big names, no top 10 Olympians, because that is going to be the most important factor in him getting back to that Olympia stage. And by no means, I meant any kind of disrespect towards Sergio by saying that. But the fact is, he's at a point in his career where he has to cover the ground because of the injuries, because of his age. But that being said, we did saw the best of Sergio with Stefan on their first try. He got some positive points from the judges, and there is no denying the fact that he's a big guy and he takes up a lot of space on the stage. So the one and the only time Sergio was on the Olympia stage, that was the year the late Sean Roden beat Phil Heath. So do you guys think he can get back there 7 years later? So is it safe to say that Mike Summerfeld, he is the favorite going into this year's Classic Physique Olympia? Well, I'm gonna say yes, 100%. He deserves that, as the man proved himself on 2 different occasions back to back. First at the Olympia last year against Chris Bumstead, and then by winning the Arnold this year. And to think that this is his current look, 20 weeks out, that is simply bonkers. Because this is him trying to disconnect from the bodybuilding lifestyle and enjoying a vacation right now. So it is insane to think that the man looks this good when he isn't even pushing anything. So next week, the prep for the Olympia officially begins, and we do not know whether Mike has any room to get bigger, to put on more muscle. Well, he claims that he still has a few more pounds before he maxes out, which in my opinion is kind of doubtful, since he put on more than 16 pounds last year alone. And I am of course talking about the stage weight here, so that was already a huge jump. But even if he shows up with that same Arnold or the Olympia look, that is gonna be a very complete package. He has that unmatched density in some areas of his physique, and other than the narrative that he looks like a 212 bodybuilder, which by the way is something that the judges totally disagree with. He doesn't have any major weaknesses, so Mike is gonna be focusing on his hamstrings a lot, because that is that one area where he can improve even more. Nevertheless, there's 20 weeks out update that looks beyond impressive. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.